So following on from the last National 5 video, make sure you watch that first. So there's the National 5 knowledge about bitmaps and vectors, and this one's going to be about the higher knowledge that you need to know, and you're really just comparing them. So National 5 is knowing what bitmaps are, knowing what vectors are. Higher is the advantages and disadvantages between the two of them. Some of this might be familiar because I accidentally get carried away and throw this into the National 5 stuff when I'm teaching it. Also, it used to actually be National 5 this, so maybe if you've read, I don't know, an old textbook or something, this might still be in the National 5 section. But like I said, I do get carried away when teaching National 5, and I've probably mentioned some of these points before. So bitmaps, the advantages of it, obviously it looks very realistic. They're just photos. You can edit the pixels individually, so the most common one would be to get rid of red eye or to get rid of spots or whatever, but you can just play about with like filters, all that type of stuff. Any type of editing is possible, and a picture is going to look the same. So the JPEG that you open on your phone is going to look the same on your computer. It's not going to change at all, whereas a vector might. Downsides, however, and you also don't need software. You don't need specific software to open a bitmap. Normally, nearly every type of computer can open them. The disadvantages are that if you try to enlarge it, it will be pixelated. It doesn't matter if you shrink it, but making it bigger will make it look pixelated. I don't even know what I mean by that point. Oh, image is edited as a whole. Yeah, so it changes. I don't even know what I mean by that point. Just ignore that. I'm going to delete that before I upload this video. Right, the large storage requirements for each pixel. So, like I said, if it's a true color image, every pixel is 24 bits, whereas that could be an entire vector shape. And there's a fixed resolution, so you can't add more pixels after your photo is taken. It's just not possible. All those movies that say enhance onto like a criminal's face, you can't really do that. You can't just make pixels out of thin air. Vector graphics, so this is like the drawing ones, they can be scaled without loss of quality, so they can be, obviously they can still be shrunk. Bitmaps can be shrunk without loss of quality, but these can also be enlarged. They'll still look smooth. Even if you enlarge them, it's impossible to make them pixelated. Objects can be edited without affecting the rest of the image. Right, this makes sense why I put the disadvantage in the last one. So image is edited as a whole. What it means, I wrote this as well, but what it means is you can move like one circle across a vector image and it's not going to affect everything, whereas you can't really do that in a bitmap graphic unless you like cut it out, and then it's going to leave a massive hole in your image. So yeah, you can edit individual objects. The objects themselves have small storage requirements, and normally it's very, very difficult for a vector graphic to have a bigger file size than a bitmap. You can change the size of an image as you please, and it doesn't increase the size. So if you make a circle bigger, it doesn't affect memory whatsoever. If you added more circles, it's going to increase memory slightly, but changing the size won't matter. Resolution independent, this means if you have expensive printers, like you could have a really high quality printer, and you can use that and it will look better than it did on your screen. Same with, you could have like a 1080p monitor and you could use the vector program and go to a 720p and it'll be okay, or you can go to a 4K and it will be okay as well. It will jump, as you jump between different screens, it'll be fine. The disadvantages, so it's quite difficult to create realistic images. I'm saying difficult, it's impossible. The editing can only be done at object level, so you can't like edit half an object. I don't know why you'd want to do that. And you need specific software on your computer, sometimes specific hardware just to run that software, like a certain level benchmark. You can't just throw a vector image onto any computer. Now if you go Google vector image, you'll see vector images, but those are vector images exported as bitmaps. If you actually want the vector files, you need specific programs to open it. This really just sums it up. I made this because I know it was quite a lot of words. So this one represents bitmaps. Advantages are photos, individual pixel editing, and no need for specific software. The vectors advantages are good for drawing diagrams and all that. Tiny file size, you can move objects, you can resize objects, and you can jump between screens. And the last slide, it's just the higher version of the quiz. So it has the first 14 or so national 5 questions, and I think like 8 or 9 higher questions. Right, thank you very much. Bye.